Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. I'm Kimberly D'Souza in your company, and today it is all about Dexter, Stewart, or Blaxx. Now, we have been hearing for the entire morning how Blaxx was such a mentor and how he gave others a platform. Well, we're actually going to be speaking to someone who in turn gave Blaxx a platform when he was now coming out as an artist. We have Mr. Ronnie McIntosh. Ronnie McIntosh, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Ronnie, how are you this morning?
Still slightly drowsy.
Right, slightly drowsy. Now, of course, we are celebrating.
Basically, I'm still trying to come to terms with the fact that Dexter, Dexter is not present with us, anymore.
Yeah.
But stories like that, stories upon stories.
Stories upon stories. Now, some would say, you were one of the first people who actually mentored Blaxx, and I was just wondering how much of Blaxx is actually Ronnie McIntosh, or how much did you have a hand in really molding who we know as Blaxx, or who we knew as Blaxx today?
Well, basically, we came from the Blue Ventures family, right? And I entered Blue Ventures in 96, late 96, yeah, just before end. So I basically met him there, and well, that is long before the dread and everything, But went into that institution, and we basically started to, chat, and everybody was paying attention. But Blaxx basically was a little more, was hungrier than the others, and to be successful, so to speak. So he would be the one, to ask, the most questions. He would be the one to pay attention the most, And a lot of the training was basically, we had some theory involved, but a lot of it was basically what you call on the job training, then basically. On stage and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I always remember him saying in his performances, whenever at certain intervals, he will say, "Well, everything I learned in this business is from Ronnie McIntosh, so to speak." And then of course there would be the times when I would have to pull him up, and if he slipped, I said, "Well, careful what you're saying on stage, because that what you just did, whether it's last week or 2 weeks ago, yeah, say you didn't learn that from me. So, careful." And I know we had that kind of energy, we had that kind of chemistry. And but stories, we really don't have the time. But yes, we shared that stage in Blue Ventures for a couple of years before he went on to All Stars. And yeah, and we always stay in contact and always talking the music. I remember chatting one time with him in Bahamas, poolside. Man, was it for 5 hours, for the band and the career and the music and the soca music. And, yeah.
I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. Yeah, I know it's a lot.
Yeah. So I'm just
Yeah. I'll take that for now. Now, Ronnie,
yes.
one of the things that one of the things that people know is that Blaxx had so many road march contenders and so many Soca Monarch contenders, but he never got the crown. For somebody who won the crown, why do you think he was never given that one kind of honor locally?
Well, the humor, the joke, and the fatigue with amongst us, we didn't spread that fatigue too far and wide, but amongst us, we would call him the bridesmaid. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was the joke among us, because. But I don't know. His music and always up inside it, and you know what? We always, beside the fatigue with the bridesmaid, we always. But I would always mention him then beside the actual victory or the first place. Consistency is most important. Building a repertoire is most important. So one of the things we focus on, or I would always mention to him, is just rack up your numbers. Make sure your repertoire by every year your repertoire must be improve and strengthen, so that will increase the jobs. So in the event that you have a not so good year, you already have 10, 12, 15 songs on their on their belt. So a promoter must call you. So beside the victory, your repertoire is just as important or much more important than actually winning anything. You know what I mean? So the focus with him really was consistency and getting having music out at a high level every year, and just build that repertoire so that your phone must ring. When you get up in the morning, you check your emails. There must be somebody interested in hiring you, and that was the focus.
I couldn't agree with you more. One of the things that you mentioned there, Ronnie, is the fact that with Blaxx, he may not have won that many titles, but you know what? He definitely won our hearts. And he's going to live on in our hearts for so many more years to come. In fact, for eternity, because he was an icon. Did you know when you met him all those years ago, did you think that he would become the icon that we know him as today? And did you think he would leave such an impact on the soca fraternity?
Actually, no. I didn't pick up that right away when I entered Blue Ventures with him. I know because as I said, I observed that he was the hungriest, so to speak. I observed that about him, but I don't know. He didn't have that level of confidence then. When I entered, I guess in conversation with him, I guess like observing, my actions and things that I will do and things that I may be, let's say, entitled to while traveling, like sometimes you travel and you might know, the purser and the flight attendant, you know what I mean? And you would get, little tips, little perks here and there. He always, he started to mention to me that, hey, I feel I want to experience that also then, you know what I mean? And I keep using the word hungry. I don't know if it's because I haven't had breakfast yet, but he kept getting hungrier and hungrier, and, you know what I mean? And then, so after a couple of years, I realized, then I started to see that kind of, that kind of interest and that kind of anxiety to step up the game and take it to the next level. And that's exactly what he did.
Ronnie, morning, partner. I know you're hungry. Don't worry, you're going to need breakfast just now.
Hold on. I'm fine. Just switching up a minute. Nobody identifying themselves. I only see different
Cool
faces.
now.
Next thing, look, you are Ronnie too?
Yeah. I know that too.
What a way to start your morning.
Ronnie, check this out now. I know you said just a while ago, you guys poolside and you all spoke for about 5 hours. I just want to find out something because I never really got it. The trademark, ban your belly. Did Dexter ever explain what he meant by that? The ban your belly, that trademark, where he got it from?
That didn't happen in my presence, so to speak. That didn't happen in the Blue Ventures era. That he picked up that a couple of years into his presence with Roy Cape All Stars. And we never really discussed that. Like I felt that happened. I felt that happened by accident in a studio session one time, and he just kept it because if it's some of his earlier releases is not there. It's not there. So then I felt like a vibe because Banya Belly is a slang we know. You know, when things tight, is like tighten your belt, so to speak. So Banya Belly is a saying that we know in Trinidad, right? But true. So I can't pinpoint what year, what was the first song, but you being the researcher that you are, if you check back his catalog, why are you laughing? You will see. You will see.
Ronnie will go on TV. We not on Marvel Road.
But if we can still talking, we can still talking code. We can still talking code. All right, good.
Yes.
But you understand what I'm saying, though? Check back the catalog and see where it came in. And I to me, because that's the energy that you will get in the studio. something will just pop up and they will just use it and it sticks. So I feel it's that. And I'm not too sure if they would have any scientific reason behind it. You know, unfortunately, we can't ask him now. And I know that's amazing though. How nobody ever asked that question, you know. It's amazing though that, you know, I'm picking up certain vibes. I don't want to divert, but I'm picking up certain vibes, you know, here on the airwaves, and I'm seeing certain comments. And, you know, to swing a little bit, I don't know, boy, we have a problem. We still have a problem with the treatment of our artists. We have a problem with the acceptance and the defending of our culture and our music. We still sleeping. We still sleeping. 1 o'clock in the day, hot sun, we sleeping. And now, if you turn on the radio, it's, oh, you know, if you hear a thing and this one and yeah, boy, and Blaxx and Dexter and Ray, rara. And you check the social media, oh God, he was this, he was an icon, and Ray and Ding, and he deserve, and yo, well, give me a break too now. Because after this next couple of days and the funeral and anything, all you're going back, all your totishness again then. You know, so, boy he's sleeping Ronnie. Still, boy.
Ronnie, we hear you and we know emotions are fraught right now, and there's definitely a lot that we need to work on together in the industry, and hopefully we'll be able to, so we can move forward and continue to protect our culture as valiantly as Blaxx did. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, but thank you for being with us this morning on the show. We appreciate you taking the time out.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have a good one. Viewers, that was Ronnie McIntosh. Stay tuned. We are continuing to celebrate the life of Blaxx right here on the Now Morning Show.